You're listening to iCannabisRadio.com.
All right, we are back from last week. And God, so much has happened since last week.
I know.
It's
insane. I haven't slept like a wink, mostly from being sick.
Yeah.
With a gypsy curse.
Well, yeah, you don't look good.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like 90% positive it was a gypsy curse.
It was a gypsy curse?
Yes.
Somebody was like voodooing you or something?
I think so. Like, how dare you pass that tax?
Stop making people angry.
How dare you?
Yeah. Yes, no, so we had...
Sam's looking at me. He knows it's true.
First of all, we had the second annual Hemp Connoisseur Championship Awards party on Saturday.
Yes.
And everybody in this room was in attendance. Thank you very much, Sam, for coming in. No Chris today. He couldn't make it, stuck in traffic or something. So thank God you were able to make it.
Stuck in traffic. What a liar.
No kidding.
He's like vacationing in the mountains.
I didn't know there would
or
be
something.
Cars on the road when I got in the car to get to work today.
You know, he's
plan
like
accordingly.
He's off camping or something like
probably.
that.
I did just see him yesterday. What was your impressions of the party, guys? Because I was kind of like host man, so I didn't get to like, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like hearing what other people were saying. Everyone's nice to you when you're the host, and say, great party.
I'm not nice to you.
I remember last year. There was Varlet last year.
Varlet was here there last year, yes.
Yeah, and they weren't there this year, but I was producing this year. And it went smoothly, and it was a lot of fun.
Good. Did you get a lot of good interviews? I never got to even make my way over to I kept trying to, but you kept having people there, so I was like...
we had a lot of interviews. We had, so many people. I'm blanking on the name, but most of the winners...
Well, they would come up to me at the Cannabis Tube, and then they would like go over to the radio station.
Did you like that we had that little media corner?
Yeah, I remember it was like, what's going on here? And they just thought it was really cool. I loved that.
We're going to do that from now on, I think.
I like that idea.
Yeah, we had a nice little media section that just
it's
everyone.
Perfect.
There was a lot of buzz around that room. Actually.
Yeah,
it was cool.
It was really well done, David. Good job.
Oh,
I actually think you did a really good job putting it all together. It was fun.
That's the goal.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
Good energy, right?
There was a lot of good energy, a lot of good networking. It was a nice, I think, cross-section of the industry.
Yeah, that's good.
Because you had a lot of, like, the business owners.
But then you had a lot of the bud tenders.
And then you had a lot of the bud tenders.
And a lot of patients, too.
And the patients, the connoisseurs and, like, people who put in the hard work. And so it was just really neat.
Cool, good. Yeah, well, that's the goal with any Hemp Connoisseur party is to create like a really good vibe. And I have to say, I have to give a shout out, and I don't know if he's listening to us or not, but we had this guy, Levi Taylor.
Levi Taylor.
I remember this name. He's
just
a young guy. He was like 21, 22.
I won't remember.
Okay, you won't. But I have to bring up Levi Taylor for one really specific reason. All right. This guy just moved to Colorado Springs from Indiana recently. And so we had a raffle at the championship.
Yeah, what did you raffle? There was that really,
we were
really
raffling
nice
off
vape
seven Silver Surfers.
Okay, and then you had that nice like Hemp Connoisseur vape.
That's
volcano.
what the Silver Surfer was. That's the Silver Surfer. We had 7 of those babies. No, we only just had one on display
with the little cannabis monocle guy.
So
on it?
with our little monocle man on there, and it said the Hemp Connoisseur Championship. It's like our wrap was over Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer, by the way, they're awesome. They're based down in Colorado Springs, national company. They make one of the coolest, best working vaporizers on the market. They are on the high end. I think they're like $250, $300 something, but you can get them individually wrapped with different styles. And they're a great company, and they were really nice to be a sponsor of the event, and they provided us with seven of those. One of those was actually supposed to be mine, and I was like, you know what? I can get one of these later on. The judges that we have here needed some more.
You are just so benevolent.
No, I did.
You are just giving.
I'm gonna get one. I am, but no. Let me. So, just the backstory. So we have our judges. First of all, and if you've never been a judge for us, this is why it's really cool to be a judge. We had a judges only raffle, and in that raffle,
what?
Yeah.
There was a judges only raffle?
Did you not get? You got your gift bag? You should have been on that.
I didn't get a gift bag. You know why I didn't get a gift bag? Because you brought some of the swag
I brought your gift bag in early.
But there was no bag. It was
That's
just like
right.
a few piecemeal things.
Yeah,
so apparently I'm missing a lot of swag, and I fucking want it.
You're not
and
really
I want
missing
it right.
that much swag. You're really not.
Apparently I missed out on a raffle.
You missed out on the raffle. So the raffle was 6 of those 7 vaporizers were being raffled off to just our judges. So it was a very limited pool of people. And then we did a raffle for the rest of the party. Everybody just paid $1 to be part of this raffle for the other Silver Surfer. So anyway, one of my judges And she's been a guest on this show, Mary Rice. It was really fun. So Mary and Mark Rice, you remember from Bongathon, they were the champions, the championship team actually, and that's why that was their award for one of their awards for being champs at Bongathon. We gave them the tickets to be judges. So she lost her raffle ticket.
Oh no.
Yeah, she did. She lost her raffle ticket. So anyway, Levi Taylor.
I remember.
From Indiana, now living in Colorado, found the raffle ticket.
Found it.
The raffle ticket won. And so he went up and he got the Silver Surfer. And the Silver Surfer was at our merchandise table. So he went up, got the ticket, went to the merchandise table, and he said, "Hey, has anybody reported losing a ticket? Because this is not my ticket. I found it." And Mary had let our merchandise table. She's like, "Hey, just so you know, I lost my ticket. This was the number, I think it was, or whatever." And she's like, "I lost the ticket." And so they were like, "Well, yeah, this person said she lost this ticket." And he goes and finds Mary, and he's like, "What was the number of your ticket or whatever the exchange was?" And she said, and he's like, "Yeah, that's the ticket I found. You won the Silver Surfer." And he gave her the Silver Surfer.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Isn't that like one of the nicest?
I definitely wouldn't have done that.
You wouldn't have done that?
No.
You were like, "Yeah, well." But he did. And here's the thing. Mary Rice is an awesome person. She's really sweet. And so I love it. It's like such an awesome good karma story that another good person actually helped out and like gave him the award that she was supposed to deserve. So I mean, of course, we gave Levi like hats and like all the goodies that we had at the table.
I'm still upset.
It's not about you on this one. It's about Levi.
No, I'm just saying. I didn't say it was about me. I'm still like really upset I didn't have a raffle ticket.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I don't
think you are sorry.
I'm not,
to be honest. I don't believe you.
You don't believe me?
No.
Well, next time we'll do it again.
I can be judged next time.
Maybe.
I'll do more concise comments.
Your comments were good.
Yeah.
Kinda. Some of them look like they were a little rushed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it definitely wasn't because I turned my format at the last minute.
My mic is just like
what's going on here?
It's flopping on me. I don't know what's going on.
That's what she said.
Oh, yes. I knew. I set you up for that. I totally set you up for that.
I'm gonna find a way to become. That's what she said for Halloween.
That's what she said next year?
Yeah, I want that to be my costume contest or my costume.
So you're going to have to come up with all these sayings that could be that what she said.
I know.
Paste them on you.
I got to do something. It's got to be clever.
No, but I got to give a shout out to we had a lot of winners.
Yes.
On the championship.
Green Solutions killed it.
Green Solution took home 12 separate awards.
13, I think.
Was it 13? I don't know.
Because I interviewed them for Cannabis Tube, and I think it was 13.
Right, but the best overall, because what we do is we take the first place winner in each category, and we have a score formula that they come up with in a score, and it's very even across all categories, really. And so when it comes up with his final score, we can see who had the best score. Last year, it was the Growing Kitchen with a fantastic brownie. So a brownie actually won best overall and got the highest score at the championship over flour and concentrates last year. This year, it was wax. It was from the wax butter category. It was Mahatma Extreme Concentrates, won for best overall for their MK Ultra, which was powered by Bud from Patient's Choice.
Patient's Choice, man. They provided all the trim too for Green Solutions.
Did they provide the trim for Green Solution?
Yeah.
Wow, that's I wasn't. But they did that one for Mahatma and Brett, the owner of Mahatma, Brett and Shannon. But Brett is the one I was talking about, and they were both awesome people over there.
I think it's too loud.
They were really adamant that we made sure that Patient's Choice got credit for it, and again, that speaks so overwhelmingly awesome to the industry, I think, when you have somebody who's like, look, I want to make sure that these guys are getting just as much credit and they earn the win as well. Like Mahatma,
that was nice.
Look, Mahatma entered. They are the ones who gave us the money to be entries, so they, of course, get top billing on that, but it also goes to Patient's Choice, and so they're going to get a trophy as well, and and they deserved it. So a big shout out to Mahatma and Patient's Choice. A lot of winners, and when we go on a break, I'll try to pull up my list of all of the winners for everybody, so we can kind of give a little roll call and kind of give credit to where credit's due, because it was an awesome event, and all these guys were great competitors. Even the losers, and I don't want to say losers, the people that did not win any awards, they got all the entrants. Yes, they got high marks. It's just that the product is so good here that the difference between like third place, where you get a plaque, and like sixth place can be like less than a point on the score, and so it's really amazing how like close it was.
It was really well done, David, and there was one I would say like probably rough spot.
Oh, what was a rough spot?
Evening. The MC was terrible.
The MC was terrible. I know. I don't know what. We got to find a better MC.
Pauses way too much. He didn't have enough like snappy jokes.
Yeah, there was not enough filler. Well, here's the deal. All right, I got to say this because he's obviously busting on me. I was the MC of the event, and I was not as good of an MC as I would have. I would have
been an amazing MC.
You think you would have been an amazing MC? Here's what happened.
Even Sam is nodding in agreement. He understands the power that is me.
Here's what happened.
I'd be a great MC.
I anticipated that the walk to the stage was going to be a little too long, because they have to kind of walk behind the stage and come up behind, and that takes a long time, especially when everybody is drinking on an open bar and there's a dab bus out front. Yeah. So people were kind of not moving necessarily super fast. And so I had asked the crew at Castleman's, and they were awesome about it, by the way. The Castleman's did a great job of hosting the venue, the party. But earlier I had said, hey, can we get some way to get a stair up on the stage to get up there? And it was one of those things that just got missed. Out of everything that you have to cover, it didn't happen in time, which would have made that like about a 20-second shorter break.
And I think like music maybe playing while they walk up.
Yeah, we're
like
gonna
everyone can pick like their own song. Like you just pick a song that you want to be played every time you win. Like how when you win an Oscar, they always play like the movie theme song or something.
Or is it like when a boxer comes on into the ring and there's like
or the batters come up to bat and they have their battering music. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Oh, and I thought maybe like behind it would be kind of neat behind if you had a. Why are you fucking with my sound, Sam? Yeah. It would be kind of neat if, like, behind you have that bigger screen, or if you could get a big screen there, that you could do like
show their product.
Yeah,
it was one of those things that was like right in the last minute. They told me, hey, by the way, we could do this big screen thing, and I was kind of like, oh, that's going to be really difficult to like get down now. Like if I was able to say, okay,
yeah,
here's
you would need
file.
At least a day to prepare because you would need to go
exactly. So we will do that next time.
Yeah,
absolutely. But we just couldn't.
But that's okay. It's a work in progress.
Everything's a work in progress.
Because it's only been the second year. So.
Second year, but I think it was bigger than last year, and it'll be bigger again next year.
Sam, what's going on?
No, I don't know, but what Here's the deal. We're gonna go on a quick break so Sam can figure out what he's doing over there.
What the fuck he is doing with the soundboard over there?
We'll be back in just a moment.
High up in the Rockies is beautiful Frisco, Colorado. Medical Marijuana of the Rockies is a medical marijuana center with compassion for Colorado's medical patients. Looking for great meds grown organically in soil? You've come to the right place. Medical Marijuana of the Rockies is just off I-70 at exit 203. Check them out at the web at www.mmrockies.com. Their ever-changing strain and clone selection is updated on the website daily. When making a trip to the mountains, no matter the season, stop by Medical Marijuana of the Rockies. Make sure you say you heard about them on iCannabis Radio. You can call 970-668-MEDS to get more information. Medical Marijuana of the Rockies, your mountain source for meds.
The law offices of Edson Maiden and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188, or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Whether you are a commercial grower or cultivate as a hobby, No Dough Urban Garden Supply is Denver's first stop for your hydroponic grow needs. With a wide range of products including House and Garden, Botanicare, and Fox Farm, their knowledgeable staff can get you started on your first garden or help you with your well-established business. No Dough Urban Garden Supply is located in downtown Denver at 1330 27th Street, 4 blocks north of Coors Field near MMD of Colorado. They are open 6 days a week from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 303-296-3424 or visit them on the web at www.nodoughurbangardensupply.com.
This segment was brought to you by The Farm, a medical marijuana care center located at 2801 Iris Street in Boulder. The Farm carries premium, cannabis, edibles, and Hummingbird brand products. Visit our new Cannabis Lifestyle store for your local artesian glass, vaporizers, and hemp clothing. The Farm has been serving Boulder since 2009. Isn't it time you come and see what we have to offer?
Okay, we're back.
We're back.
And I did say I was going to give you a listing of like winners for the championship.
Did you fix the sound? I think it's better now.
He's good on the sound.
Okay.
No, we're good. And so we're going to go through winners, and then we're going to talk a little bit on the votes and politics.
Yeah, we'll talk about election week. And
just to preface this, look, I'm not going to go through everybody, second, third place, just for the notion of time, because it'd be people would just get numb to the list and not remember anybody I say if I do that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to give the awards, like patience and that, and then first place and all that. So what we did was, just so you know, we had connoisseur scores if the connoisseurs got their votes in on time, which they only did on the flower. So you're not going to hear any connoisseur awards for anything but the flower. But you were on flower, so
yes.
Yeah, I'm proud. And then we're going to give out the patient's choice score, which is all the patient judges who voted and who their favorite strain was, best tested, and then the first place. Now, if you want to see everybody else, we have them already listed on Facebook, or you can get our new issue of the magazine, which is going to be hitting the streets basically next Monday. We delayed it just so we could cover the event in there, so normally it would have been out by yesterday. But a little bit of delay just to make sure everybody got that listing in there. So in the sativa category, taking home the Connoisseur's Choice Award and the Patient's Choice Award and first place for Best Sativa was Physicians Preferred Products with their Citrix strain. And then taking home Best Tested was Patient's Choice. And why don't I have my strain names listed on here? That's odd. Oh, there they are. Patient's Choice won under Sativa for Best Tested with their Chem 91. And then going into the indica category, taking home the Patient's Choice score, best Patient's Choice was Natural Remedies with their Banana Kush. That's a really good one, by the way. Yeah, I like that one. And then we have taking home Connoisseur's score, best tested, and first place in the indica category for their Kosher Kush was the Clinic of Colorado. And look, that was a really awesome strain too.
Yeah, you can always tell Clinic weed.
But all of the honestly, I was really impressed with everybody's bud. I really was. Yeah. It was like there was nothing in there that was not a good strain. Obviously, it shouldn't be that way anyway, but okay, so in the hybrid category, this is going much faster than when I had to do it on.
I think it's taking way too long.
You already think that's taking way too long. Taking home Connoisseur score with the Cannabis Center, great little center down in Colorado Springs. They're really good people down there.
Yeah, I loved
that. Was the best Connoisseur score.
I love that hybrid. That was one of my favorites.
That Kill Shot.
Yeah, that was number 8.
Kill Shot. Yeah. No, that one was number
5.
Yeah, it was number 5. Yes, it was number 5. Yeah. Look at you.
I remembered which ones are really good.
Patient's Choice for the hybrid was the Grunk by the Clinic Colorado. And then best tested and first place in the hybrid category for their Cindy White was the Green Solution, one of their 12 awards that they got.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot. And it's funny, somebody made a comment on Facebook, by the way, about the Green Solutions, call them the Walmart of weed, because people always are hating people who are winners, right? And they do a good job. And I looked at that and I was like, dude, if they were the Walmart of weed, do you think that they would have taken home 12 awards in our championship? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the judges decided on this.
I don't even think that they're that large.
I don't even think they're that large either.
No.
And it's just like, just because you're a good dispensary.
Very good at what they do.
It's like, it's amazing how people can hate on other people in the industry just because they're being successful. All right, so that was the hybrids. Moving on, right? I did indica already?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Stoner.
Shatter. On the shatter category, taking home Patient's Choice, and actually also second place in that was for the Tangy Shatter from the Clinic Colorado. Then we had the best tested score was for the Venus OG from Sweet Mary Jane Extraction by Better Concentrates. Sweet Mary Jane's a nice little center down in Boulder, and they actually won. They got quite a few awards. And then we had also they
had those. Sweet Mary Jane had those like lime balls that everybody loved.
Yeah. Now taking home first place in the shatter category, but also taking home second place in Patient's Choice in testing, which we don't give out awards for second place in Patient's Choice in testing. But I thought it was worth mentioning. That's because I didn't mention them at all for the rest of the time. So people were like, how did they win? Well, the Patient's Choice in testing really helped push them up over the edge. That was for Golden Goat Shatter, and that was the Green Solution again with their concentrates by the IVXX infusions.
Dang.
Yeah, so that was another one they got. Then the Canna Center, again, won for Patient's Choice under their wax butter category. And they were also third place overall. But then we had taking home the best testing score and best overall, and the tournament champion, actually, was Mahatma Extreme Concentrates, like I mentioned, powered by Patient's Choice with their MK Ultra.
Yeah.
And then we have H2O Extraction. On H2O Extraction, taking home first place for best tested was the Green Solutions again with their IVXX infusions. And then we had Green Solution taking home with a different strain. By the way, the one for best tested was their Grape Stomper Ice Wax. And then for their Cindy White Ice Wax, they got Patient's Choice and the best overall for H2O.
Nice.
Yeah, so they were killing it. And then CBDs, Green Solution won for Patient's Choice on their CBD strain with their Shark Shock CBD Shatter. And then for their R4 Oil, Greenworks won for best test and best overall. And they were
Greenworks won a few too. Yeah.
Well, Greenworks won 7-1 for their best test for the testing as a ratio. I mean, that's impressive. You know, and I don't really give out the testing scores a lot, but when it's something that amazingly high, I'm pretty sure the Greenworks is happy with me saying that to people.
What do you mean by 7-1?
There was basically you're looking at. I mean, it was around 7-1. I mean, there's but it was basically like 70% CBD. To about 14, I think it was, percent THC in that oil. That for those of you who know what I'm talking about, I know your jaws are dropping right now.
Yeah, that's insane.
Because that's insane. But that they're notorious for that. And in fact, that's why there was only 2 entries in the CBDs, because everybody knew Greenworks is entering, and they're like, I'm not even going to bother. But hats off to Green Solution because they got Patient's Choice by throwing their hat in there. All right, so edibles is the last one I got to talk about, and then we're going to go politics.
All right.
But under the edibles category, and since, taking home best tested, and then also taking home second place.
The limey balls.
No, taking home best tested in second place was Incredibles for their, it's called the Monkey Bar.
The Monkey Bar.
Which is really good. It's banana, coconut, and walnut. Which some people don't like coconut, but I think it's, it's delicious in there.
My friend Derek Cummings designed that label.
Yep.
He designed that little monkey.
Yep. And best tested, by the way, is about accuracy. So like they had a score of 9.56, which meant when they said they had 100 milligrams, they had 95.9 9 milligrams in there.
Oh, good. That's an important thing.
It is. Well, taking home first place was only off under them by 3. So they had 95.6 milligrams. So 0.3 milligrams less. That is what it took to get first to second in testing. But they also won for Patient's Choice for best edible, and best edible overall went to Sweet Mary Jane. Again, that little company down in Boulder.
Those are the lime balls.
For the key lime kickers, and those were delicious. And I should just mention third place was Markaha, sorry, for the lemonade ice black tea, which is actually really delicious.
That sounds delicious.
It is. They incorporate this great.
Name.
They do a great job of incorporating the flavor of cannabis into like an Arnold Palmer, basically, but it's almost like, okay, I took out the mint instead and put a hint of cannabis in there, and it actually tastes really good. It's one of those times that I really enjoy the flavor of cannabis in an edible. So yeah.
I can't stand the
flavor.
So
just anybody who wants to see,
I can't like weedy taste. I can't. It's. Oh.
No, you would like it. I think you would like this one. I really do. But all of those edibles were amazing. In fact, the other edibles that entered were awesome as well.
Yeah.
But I just want to say congratulations to all the winners, everybody who entered. Everybody did a great job showing it, and just a big thank you to everybody on my staff for helping me put this together, and to all the competitors, all the judges for getting their votes in on time. Just a big shout out and thank you to everybody who was involved in making this successful.
Christiana is
she's amazing.
She is worth her weight in gold.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
So don't ever fuck that up, David.
I would never fuck that up. And it's funny because it's one of those things like, my wife Jackie has even said that. She's like, you guys are an amazing team. And it's just kind of nice to see that she's comfortable with the fact that I have like a teammate that is like invaluable and basically a member of my family.
Yeah.
And
you could like get divorced and I'd be like, I'm sorry, David. You could like get all separated. But if you and Christiana ever broke up, I'd be like, I would have to shun you from the family,
and well, I would never get divorced, first of all. But
well, don't do that.
I would never do that.
Phone.
That would be more devastating for me, honestly, than anything else.
I was using it as hyperbole.
But I understand the hyperbole,
to be
and
funny.
I appreciate that. But my wife listens to this, so I want to make sure she.
Well, of course, she's invaluable and way out of your league.
totally way out of my league. Sam's all nodding. He's like, I know, dude.
Prettier,
totally.
Better conversationalist,
totally.
A lot funnier than
way
you
funnier
are.
than I am.
Not as funny as me, but still funny.
Way funnier than
What?
Is it up? That's up for debate. And you know what's really up for debate? Well, what's not up for debate anymore
are the taxes. Oh,
is
that's
the fact.
A beautiful segue.
Wasn't that good? That was one of the better ones.
Segue.
But it's not a segue anymore when we comment on the segue. I think we need to recognize that we.
No, it still is, isn't it?
It is still.
I'm all about meta segues.
Like I said, what's not up for debate anymore is the fact that we are going to have taxes in place for retail marijuana in Colorado starting January 1st.
Yes.
Proposition AA is passed. We were both in favor of it. There were a lot of very disappointed people out there as well who did not want it to
I think
pass.
that's why I have the gypsy curse on me. Well, I was very sick yesterday, yeah. It's all right. It was worth it.
Does that mean I'm having a curse
Probably.
on me soon too? But look, I appreciate the fact there was an opposition on the taxes because opposition just says, look, you can't just get away with adding taxes without somebody speaking out against you, even though we agreed with this. And I think everybody kind of really knew it was pretty much a losing effort.
Yeah, but at the same time,
65%?
No,
right?
no,
65%
it was.
in favor?
Listen, first of all, I don't think anyone was going to be too presumptuous because you never know.
You never know.
And it's always good to fight and work for something you believed in. And
I agree.
Our campaign worked really hard.
And I do, and I commend both sides of the campaign on that side.
Yeah. And having said that, no, just kidding. That's it. And it was a good celebration. And
yeah.
Denver's passed too and Boulder's passed too. I would prefer that. It would have been nice, I guess, if they hadn't, but they both also passed overwhelmingly.
See, and I didn't get to vote on the Denver or Boulder because I live in Jefferson County.
Yeah, Edgewater.
And Edgewater did not add any taxes on top of, at least not up for vote, and it hasn't been mentioned to be.
Yeah, and so I think, it's going to be, even with Denver's taxes, I'm not too worried about the price.
But the problem, here's my thing though, I think Edgewater is going to stand out to win in that region.
Yeah, I think you're going to have enough of these smaller little municipalities right outside Denver that maybe don't do their own tax. Like maybe they just opt in because they know they're going to get a lot of spillover from residents who will drive that extra maybe mile or two to save $5 on their weed.
Exactly. And look, Edgewater is a nice small little town that does just fine on its, as in my opinion, from my viewpoint of living in it, does just fine with the kind of revenue they're getting. And I think they're doing a really good job of improving on that town without needing any extra revenue. The big thing is helping the school systems, which this tax is doing. And then, obviously there was the other tax. What was it? Amendment
66.
66.
Oh, that school tax. Yeah, that went down in blaze.
Yeah. What was
how that went?
How did it lose?
It was almost the exact inverse of how much AA passed by.
So
it's a little ironic.
Why do you think that one, out of
1?
curiosity, why do you think that one did not pass? I mean, we're talking about raising taxes for schools, which always seems like a good thing.
Well, in Colorado, there's only been one other tax that's ever passed statewide.
Besides the marijuana one?
Besides the marijuana one, that was a tobacco. Second of all, they've tried this a few times before. A couple years ago, it was Prop 104, I believe. And the other thing is that, education is good. People want to fund education. I think part of the problem with Amendment 66 was that people didn't really understand it. I mean, even Prop AA was a little confusing for some people. My mom called me and said...
Everybody was calling me last week.
She's so cute. She goes, I voted no on it. That was a good thing, right? I was like, oh, no, but it's all right, Mom.
You're like, but good for you.
I was like, whatever.
You filled it out.
I was like, but no, she just didn't... I think she thought, I don't want it. But she's also a Republican, so she doesn't like any taxes.
Right.
So... I was like, yeah, for you, actually, that is probably...
But how is our school system right now in Colorado as a school system?
We are
I'm about to start researching this more
about
in
45th.
depth.
We are low in funding per pupil. We're 45th or 46th per capita.
See, now, if you said something like that in the reason for doing it, if you say, by the way, this is where we are in the country and on spending, then I think people... I mean, it's it's all about marketing. And to me, it's a competition. It's like, if we are in a state, don't you want to be able to compete with other states as being one of the best education states? Now, if everybody's made aware, we're 45 out of 50. All right? I mean, that's bad.
Yeah, it's not great. That's just funding. That's not how well students do. That's just funding. And that's what the counter argument will always be. Then you'll have people say, well, you have places like New Jersey and California that spend way more per pupil but have way less... Or they have, standards or achievement levels. It's just the funding doesn't match up. So, but having said that, those are also anomalies. And
those are different things.
Yeah, I mean, New Jersey's the way they fund and just their median income level.
Well, and what is that money going to in the funding too?
Yeah.
And that was the question I had: is where was the money going?
Yeah, that was the other part. Is that their ads did do a lot of advertising, promoting the idea that you're going to be buying providing not new classrooms, restoring old classrooms like the arts and music
But that's what Amendment 64 is supposed to do on construction side, right?
Well, this is for construction, but yeah, but no, I think they're talking about
Prop A.
They're talking about the funding to actually pay for a teacher and to pay for school supplies, and although technically the best fund could be used for school supplies. This is actually something
after the first $40 million, it could be.
No.
Right?
You can consider it capital construction. They say part of that they include in the definition is infrastructure.
Well, I think that's why 66
so part of
was probably
infrastructure
doomed.
Is
I actually voted for it because I have a baby on the way, and I'm like, whatever we can throw towards schools, I want better schools because I have been looking at it, the fact that the school system is not that great here in Colorado.
No.
And I'd rather have public schooling for my
Colorado paradox. You know what that is?
Well, no, what's that?
The Colorado paradox is that we have the highest
educated adults.
Educated adults per capita. So most masters and college degrees for adults, but we have the lowest graduation and completion rates.
So we're a bunch of smart people having stupid kids?
No, we are a bunch of stupid people who eventually stay in the state, and then we attract a lot of educated people to live here.
I see what you're saying.
Or people move out of Colorado.
Interesting.
It's what it is, yeah.
Huh. So there's a lot of smart people move here and migrate.
That's the problem. They're we're not home growing enough smart people.
But you know what? That would mean that eventually you're going to see a trend of that moving up. You would hope, because more smart people they value education for their kids.
Yeah, but smart people don't have babies. Didn't you see Idiocracy?
Yeah, I did see Idiocracy. That's true. Everyone, and there is a lot of truth to that, actually.
So
but
that passed.
I think it was doomed because 66 was right next to AA. And when you're like, okay, I'm voting for a tax increase on marijuana for schools, why should I vote for a whole other tax increase for schools?
See, I don't know. And I don't know because from what I hear, they never were really worried about Prop AA. I just think that with the bad news about the federal government shutdown, then Obamacare,
yeah, I don't want to spend any money on government.
Yeah,
I get it.
That was the biggest part. I don't mind
sense.
taxing stoners. We all knew that was going to pass.
Yeah.
But did this have a chance? It did. And then did all these really shitty things happen that sort of tainted a view of government and funding government?
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. I mean, and my thought is if I give one of my politicians $1, it's going to cost me another 10.
I think the funny thing is maybe if they just did a nice income tax raise just to fund the general fund, I actually think that would have a better chance of passing, because I think
the state income tax, you mean?
Just if they wanted to do the same sort of measurement of they were just going to do a more progressive rate, I think that even if they did that and they just said, listen, we're just putting it in the general fund because we have a lot of shit to fix. We have roads, bridges, and then we can add to schools because our Constitution is so knotted up in Colorado with education, because we've got the Gallagher Amendment, we've got Amendment 23, there was the referendum seat time. There was all this stuff that's always about education in our Constitution. I think every time they try to do a tax, they always attach it to education. Mm-hmm. And I sort of feel like there's now a cynicism building up in Colorado where they're oh yeah, education. Who gives a fuck? I want my bridges fixed. I want my roads fixed. I want the flood victim stuff taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe if you did something just for the general fund, maybe people would be amiable to that, or maybe not.
Well, when you say to the general fund, though, then you just don't know where it's going. That's the problem. General fund scares me because I'm then I picture them buying a bunch of Escalades that nobody's going to drive, a la the MED when they had all this money that they thought they were going to get, and it's general fund is kind of that's that miscellaneous file you have on your computer that is so loaded with crap you don't even want to sift through it anymore. It's I don't know where it went to. And that's what I picture when I hear general fund.
I know. Sometimes it's just nice to have a pool of money to draw from.
I get it.
Because now we do, or maybe if they just raise taxes for more disaster relief, because I think we're now understand there's this huge trend going on in Colorado.
Well, they could have wrapped disaster relief in on that. I think that wouldn't have been a bad idea. But I think when you look at disaster relief as a state, a lot of times we're we're going to get federal relief money.
Yeah, but it'd be nice to have our own money.
I agree. We have to go on another break, actually. We kind of rambled for a second. And when we come back, we need to talk about some other things that happened over the week.
You rambled. I wasn't rambling. That was disgusting.
I'm going to get a vote from Sam during the break. We'll be back.
Whether you are a commercial grower or cultivate as a hobby, No Dough Urban Garden Supply is Denver's first stop for your hydroponic grow needs. With a wide range of products including House and Garden, Botanicare, and Fox Farm, their knowledgeable staff can get you started on your first garden or help you with your well-established business. No Dough Urban Garden Supply is located in downtown Denver at 1330 27th Street, 4 blocks north of Coors Field near MMD of Colorado. They are open 6 days a week from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 303-296-3424 or visit them on the web at www.nodoughurbangardensupply.com.
This segment was brought to you by The Farm, a medical marijuana care center located at 2801 Iris Street in Boulder. The Farm carries premium, cannabis, edibles, and hummingbird brand products. Visit our new Cannabis lifestyle store for your local artesian glass, vaporizers, and hemp clothing. The Farm has been serving Boulder since 2009. Isn't it time you come and see what we have to offer?
The Law Office of Edson, Mayton, and Matz provides criminal defense, family law, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running a medical marijuana center, optional premises cultivation operation, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout the state of Colorado. We're focused on providing high-quality service and customer satisfaction. We will do everything we can to meet your expectations. WarrenEdson.com. Edson, Mayton, and Matz in Denver, 303-831-8188, and in Aspen, 970-948-7183. WarrenEdson.com.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
I'm Gary Johnson, and you're listening to Cannabis Radio, and I want to say, talk it up, Colorado.
All right, we are back, and we did say there was a lot of stuff that happened this week. Besides,
you had a few elections. So we had Prop A, and then the Denver and city tax. There's actually, I think, almost every individual local tax they did passed
for marijuana.
Yeah, there was a little town outside of Craig, which voted to ban retail, which they couldn't do for some reason. I can't remember. There's actually something wrong with the way they did it, but Dinosaur is this town called Dinosaur.
And so that town, do they have a dispensary?
I don't even think they have one. I don't know. So they banned retail.
But it wasn't valid?
Something, because you have to have like a certain percentage. I have to look it up.
Interesting.
You have to have like a certain percentage of the people. Like it has to be done in a certain year. You can't do it in like this kind of a year election.
Oh, a certain percentage of the town voting for something like that to happen,
or something like it has to be like, or it has to like these,
or it can't be in an off election year or something
like that with these bans. Yeah,
got it.
And then let's see. We had Portland, Maine.
Love it. East Coast coming out.
Decrim.
Decriminalized. Which was what the stage Denver did.
Yeah, there was a few cities in Michigan, and
I think Ann Arbor was one of them, and I think there's. You want to pull it up?
Yeah.
Little Sam's gonna pull it up. Little Sam's gonna pull it up.
I would know more of this if I wasn't recovering.
If you weren't recovering.
Yeah, and then Oregon is now starting a legalization measure in their state.
Yep.
They filed, and then locally, you're gonna love this. A group in Manitou has decided that they are going to put a petition to ban adult use
retail.
marijuana.
See, and this is annoying for those of you who don't understand. Is Manitou Springs is this cute little mountain town tucked right up to Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
On your way into the Rocky Mountains, basically, like the last.
It's like the Estes Park of Colorado Springs.
Right, and so Colorado Springs, which is honestly stupidly banned. Well, the city council has, not the people.
Yeah.
The city council has banned retail marijuana or adult use marijuana. And so Manitou Springs has this one little dispensary.
Well, they have two. They have one downtown, and then they have one a little bit in the in the town, the town proper.
Right,
you know,
exactly. And they have those two little dispensaries that stand to do really, really well and bring a lot of revenue into Manitou.
Especially since they've been devastated with floods.
Exactly.
You know, they could really
Manitou
use
needs
the money.
this help.
Yeah.
And so there's like, it was just like, holy crap, they're like a mecca of retail marijuana sales that didn't exist. For anybody else. So everybody in Colorado Springs was going to be going into Manitou and like purchasing, most likely at the one on the outside, because going into Manitou, it's such a tight little town that it's hard to drive around in there.
Well, that's what's so funny about this little group of, let's just call them pro-clutching, panty-wetting mommies with time, decided that they're going to, you know, circulate a petition. So there's a petition. They're going to turn it in, I think, on the 12th, or they may have already turned it in to City Council. City Council is going to bring it up on the 12th. That's Tuesday, the 12th.
Yeah. So they're basically, they're
but in their press release, they stated that they were worried that with Colorado Springs opting out and then Manitou basically being the only adult use
would be too
city
busy.
In the that it would be too busy. And then of course it went on with the typical eye crossing bullshit, which is like and then like think of the children, and we don't want to sully this town's image.
Honestly, here's the thing that's funny about this. If they just stopped at traffic, because anybody who's ever been to Manitou Springs understands that is a problem, because it's like it's a one road town until you go into the residential areas, which nobody drives up there unless you're going there, because those hills are super steep, and like if it's the winter, if you don't have a 4-wheel drive, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's just this one road.
Well,
so if you said it's just because of traffic and busyness, I would have been like, that's legitimate.
It's funny. That's the one part I picked up on too, and I said, wow, maybe we can find a way to ask them to help us instead of banning adult use in Manitou. Why don't we just ask them to join us? I know there's a bunch of people who are looking. It's this referendum measure called Every Vote Counts in Colorado Springs. Why don't we just ask them? I was talking to Mark Slaw about this. I go, why don't we just ask them to like come join our movement? Because then if we, open up for adult use in Colorado Springs, that opens up 86 new stores.
Yep.
That's, the second largest market in Colorado. And then you wouldn't have to worry about it. And I don't know the exact message that she sent back to Mark Slaw, because he asked her this on Facebook. But it wasn't nice. And she said, no way. We're basically, it's stipulated like, no, this is just about, there's no legalization, period. Like, we don't want to help you in your stupid little effort.
I don't think that her effort's going to work, though, because Manitou Springs is very progressive. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
I don't think so either. But I do think that, like, everything they say in this city council, though, I think should be recorded and then played at Colorado Springs City Council. And they should be, and you should just, like, when they do bring up the traffic, when they do bring up that stuff, like, you need to go help this town out.
Yeah.
Like, don't do this to these
people. Well, they could just put a tax in El Paso County on it, and then everybody makes additional revenue. I'm not saying that I want more taxes on it. I really don't. But, I mean, like, if I was looking at it from that standpoint of hey, I want my hand in the cookie jar, well, that we should be taxing this on a countywide vote, and then Manitou gets benefit of that as well.
Yeah. Well, good luck, El Paso County.
I know. But hey, just to specifically give that news, Little Sam did pull this up on his phone. Portland, Maine did vote to legalize 2.5 ounces of marijuana.
Ooh.
Voters supported that the proposal was 67% of the vote.
It's insane.
Yeah. It does not legalize cultivation.
Every measure that passed with any sort of legalization or decrim in this last election all passed like 2-1.
Yeah. And it does, but see, now it does not legalize cultivation or sale, but it does allow for adults 21 and older in Portland city limits to engage in activities for the purpose of ascertaining the possession of marijuana and paraphernalia. I think that's hysterical. I love the way laws are written.
Yeah.
And which presumably allows for the sharing of marijuana between adults. So they're basically saying it is legal to look for free bud in Portland, Maine. Love it.
You're
awesome.
free, bud.
Yeah. Now in Michigan, it was Ferndale, Jackson, and Lansing, Michigan.
Lansing.
All voted to amend their city charters so, quote, nothing in the Code of Ordinances shall apply to the use, possession, and transfer of less than 1 ounce of marijuana on private property by a person who has attained 21 years, end quote. Again, cultivation and sales are not allowed, but sharing would be allowed. I just love that. It's like, well, you can't grow it. You can't sell it, but if you have it, feel free to give it away.
It's a small step. It's a worthy
small
step.
one. Ferndale passed its measure by 69%. Jackson passed it by 61%, and Lansing passed it by 62%.
It's insane. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
good news. Good news.
2-1
everybody.
margin.
Yeah, 2-1
Yeah,
margins.
awesome. Great job, everybody who worked on those campaigns. You know, I mean, it's just getting,
There you go.
as a marijuana activist out there, I mean, or as a lobbyist for you, do you feel like the job gets easier in that realm?
Oh, yeah. I think, well, I mean, the more that people opt in, the easier it gets.
Well, because now it's like the people are going for it. So it's like, now you have that ace.
Ace.
It
Don't
is.
get me wrong. That's a huge ace.
It's a huge
but
ace. It's like the biggest ace, isn't it? Well,
There's
money
a-
is probably bigger. But
money's big, and the other one is really just defeating, like, archaic perceptions, and education still a huge one. I don't know. I think there's still a lot of politicians that get very scared of it, and
I think it's knee-jerk reaction, though, isn't it? I think it's tied to that archaic reefer madness.
Whether it's competition, like putting pressure on them who, like, big alcohol, or if it's, or big fart. Like, I know the pressure's there. I know it is.
Well, look, I guarantee you, I mean, I already know, what 2% in sales have gone down? At
5%.
least 5% in alcohol sales now in Colorado?
Yeah.
So 5%.
Well, that's the average that they go down in states that have legalized medical marijuana.
And it's probably going to go down even more. But at the same point, maybe it won't. I mean, it's like maybe it was just a little bit of a balancing right there. Maybe it's going to stay at 5%.
Yeah.
And hey, just deal with it. Sorry. That's the way competitive market is. Come up with some cannabis beverages then, Budweiser.
Well, it should be. People should have the choice.
They should have the choice. And I think because it's a safer choice, you're probably going to see a steady decline in alcohol sales. You probably will. But it's not like those companies are going to go anywhere.
No.
They'll just adjust as companies.
Yeah. Or maybe they'll just start making better beer. Fuck Budweiser. Coors, too. Coors is like, it's like drinking, like, alcoholified snot.
It's really funny because, like, I still think, like, we live in Colorado, and I've been bartending here in Denver for a while, and in Colorado Springs I've done it there too for the last like 7-8 years, and when I'm behind the bar, I sell more Bud Light than Coors Light. And you would think that, well, hey, we're in Colorado. Coors is like here. It's like you would think people would be supporting it, that crappy beer company as opposed to the Budweiser crappy beer. But they're buying Bud Light, not Coors Light.
Because they know better. It's because they live in Colorado. They know better.
Maybe. But it's kind of funny to think about that, like, they don't even outsell Bud Light in Colorado.
Crazy.
I know. So, what else is exciting going on? You're heading down to Colorado Springs tonight,
I
aren't
am
you?
heading down to Colorado Springs. They're talking about their Every Vote Counts.
So can you tell us about Every Vote Counts?
Yeah, so a lot of stakeholders, I should say, are getting together in Colorado Springs, from citizen activists to business professionals to political operatives to anybody with an interest in, like, seeing Colorado Springs make the right choice and honor the will of the voters down there.
Well, yeah, and for those of you who don't know what Sam's referring to, is that the people voted with a close margin, but they did vote to legalize on Amendment 64.
I think El Paso County it passed by like 5,000 votes.
Yeah.
And then Colorado Springs is a little bit more of a narrow margin. It was like 51%, but
yeah,
it passed.
But the city council pretty much ignored the fact that the majority of the voters passed it.
Yeah, and I mean, Colorado Springs tends to be very maverick in how they do things. And I think
That's one way to put it.
That's one way to put it. And I think that they are very frustrated with their representatives. Obviously, we just saw a recall happen down there with this state president.
Well, that was
Senate
for like the
president.
gun control vote thing.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
was. You could say a little bit. He did also pull that last minute repeal of 64, tried to attach it to the taxes passing, which was kind of just a jerk move.
Was that
a lot of
before or
people
after
felt.
the recall, though, started?
That was before.
It was before.
Yeah, that was before. Because that was during session.
I do think that is a dangerous trend. The recall.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
It's like saying, oh well, we did vote for you, but now we don't like the job you're doing while you're doing it, so we want to fire you. And I love the idea of us being able to fire our politicians, but you're firing them because they disagreed with you on one issue.
If that's what I'm saying. If it's an issue, then like use the power of petition for good,
exactly.
and like put a referendum on the ballot, let people vote for it. But I think the recall process it should be reserved for malfeasance,
yes,
corruption,
yes,
and criminal activity.
I agree.
Like that is what it should be used for.
I agree.
It should not be used over one issue items to kowtow politicians into voting how you want them to vote. I mean, they're supposed to be there as representative of the area, and you vote for them because of their values. And if next time they don't follow through on those values, then you vote for somebody else.
But let's be honest, when a recall like that is happening, it's not happening necessarily propelled from the people. It's coming from a lobbying group or some group of some kind that's motivating the people. But there's money behind those movements.
That is 100% true in John Morse's district. It is, however, was actually very grassroots in Pueblo. You have to give it up for them on that. But however, after the grassroots started,
then the money
flowed in.
Yeah.
So, Pueblo is actually very grassroots. Evie Hudak's one that they're trying right now is completely funded. I live in that area. I've come across many paid petitioners, and make sure that they know that they need to be on the sidewalk, not harassing people.
Right.
Doing things correct. Then they don't know what they're doing. I talk to them and you can just tell they're just some paid, just some paid shoe leather just to stand there and not really do any hard work. So that's that. But yeah, that's not how you want to run. I don't like that being done in our state. I don't think that's how our state should be ran.
Right.
Like, if you don't like it, run a referendum. So that's what they're doing in Colorado Springs. They're running a referendum, and they're going to open up for recreational shops. I think they're looking at including a tax on it. We're going to make sure that everything
Did they put what type of tax is going to be on it?
I'm sure it'll be small. It's got to be small for, small enough for the city to vote it in.
2 to 5%?
Probably 2.5.
Well, I mean, again, the city will probably vote it in more easily because it's on marijuana, just like they would probably vote it on tobacco. They wouldn't, But you know what I find interesting? Why don't they ever raise a little, just like even a 0.5% tax on alcohol? Imagine how much more money would come in.
Oh my gosh! Do you know when PPP did their polling for
PPP?
Public policy polling, I believe is what it is. PPP, when they did their polling for the Amendment 64 taxes that the campaign then released, and they said we've got this polling and it pulled at 77%. There was actually a question on there that said, "Do you approve of raising taxes on alcohol by 5%?" And that was the support for that was in the 60s.
60s. 60%?
60.
Out of how many?
I got 100%, 60s.
Yeah, that's what I mean, 60%.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Oh,
see, yeah.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, you know what I meant. 60%,
but anyway,
yeah. So why aren't we raising it then by 5?
Big alcohol's got a good lobby.
I mean, like I said, I don't even think we need to raise it by 5. I think we just need to raise it by 2.5.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it doesn't. I mean, that would be huge.
I don't know. Colorado's a very alcohol
Well, of course, we're big on microbrew, craft brews.
We got Coors.
Yeah.
But there is a Budweiser plant here too.
But I think we've shifted. I think that we have been an alcohol state. We're not going to not be alcohol in here, and there's still going to be that craft brew kind of feel and everything.
Huge craft brew.
But I think that kind of a
I don't know.
That kind of a demographic lends itself to the same thing when it comes to cannabis.
That would have to be done by the initiative process, would be my guess, David.
But I'm just saying, I think that, we're going to
David wants to raise if you want to raise taxes on alcohol, petition David, and he will start the campaign.
How about we raise 5% on alcohol and lower 2% on cannabis?
Well, you have to wait, give this a year or two.
Give it a balance.
I say you give this 2 years.
I absolutely agree.
They're going to look at it, and then the tax is going to come down.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I just think that the cannabis industry is going to have way more muscle behind them.
It's not just that, but it's also the fact that like the market's going to stabilize. Other states are hopefully opting in.
We're going to have to match other states. There's going to be one of those awesome states that's going to be right next to us. It's going to be like we're going to undercut Colorado.
You're going to see so many states opt in on 2016, and especially 2017 too, and you're in the by 2017 you're going to see a lot of the red states.
Yeah, I think so.
Is what's going to happen.
You think so? By 2017?
Yeah, I think 2017 is going to be. No, I think 2017. Not a lot of the red states. I'm talking about like the ones that have a lot of progressive centers, and I'm like Texas, for example. Texas is pretty red, but it's got Austin, it's got Houston, it's got Dallas, which can be very blue.
Right. True.
It's libertarian, and it's one of the number one, I would say, casualties of the drug war. Because a lot of the violence spills over.
I would agree with that. Well, look, and then you on the other side of Texas, you have Mexico City that is pushing towards decriminalization.
Yeah.
And so I think that they're going to see, well, wait a minute, we're being bookended but we still have a problem, and all these other people around us are not having a problem.
Yeah.
We better do something about this.
Yeah, and then Nevada is like blue and red sometimes. It kind of goes in between. So it would be the purple. I think 2017, which kind of lead towards red. You'll see like a lot.
I think there's going to be those that are just going to only do medical, though. I think you're going to see
Montana
that. You're going to see a lot of states, I think, that'll say, we're going to legalize medical. And that's
that's
all we're going to do.
what I'm talking about is medical.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the retail side's still going to start opening up. I think you're going to see 2020, you're going to see like the floodgates open on retail. Two presidential elections from now, as long as things move in the same direction that they're moving.
Yeah.
I think then,
maybe.
Or, I mean, maybe it'll just become federal. Maybe. And then it's an opt-in or opt-out kind of thing for the states.
That would be nice.
It would be nice.
It would be nice.
I think we'll get there. Like I said, at the current pace that we're going, barring some other somebody coming into office who just does everything they can to fight this and really push it, which I still think would be a bad move, but not put it past any of our politicians, really. But as long as we have at least this attitude going towards about it from the feds as far as being hands off, eventually it's just going to be a majority of the country is legalizing it. So the feds are going to just be like, okay, that's where we're at then.
I know. Wouldn't it be nice? And then everybody's growing hemp. Oh, and then Boulder. Let me just come back to hemp. Made me think of Boulder for some reason. Hippies, that's why. And they have their ordinance coming up. I can't believe Boulder. Do you know what they have in Boulder's ordinance right now, their draft ordinance?
I don't know. Tell me, please.
They have, they want to ban being able to sell anything but retail marijuana in a retail marijuana store. So no hood lamb coats, no hood lamb beanies. Now the state has already banned other consumables. So you can't have like an Evo hemp bar and a monkey bar, because they don't want people to be buying the Evo hemp bar thinking like it's medicated and then being fooled, or vice versa. I think they're buying like a regular edible.
So you can't sell a hemp product or non-medicated product as far as consumable in Boulder.
That's what they want now.
That's what they want.
They just want you to sell the pot. Nothing else.
Is there any other, honestly, is there any other industry that anybody can think of out there on the retail side that is told you can sell plenty of this, but we're not going to let you sell this?
Well, liquor stores,
no.
maybe.
I can buy soda. I can buy fruit.
I know.
I can buy gum, cigarettes. I mean, you can go down the list.
But can you buy a T-shirt at a licker store?
Yeah, you can totally buy a T-shirt at a liquor store.
Okay, there you go. I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah, you can sell whatever you want if you're a retail outlet.
They don't want any branding done there. They don't want you to. So they also don't want like the farm in Boulder to sell a shirt that says the farm. So somebody can't buy merch. They don't want any merchandising. Is what they don't want.
What I think is amazing about this, all right, because it's like
so anti-progressive.
It's like Boulder always called itself this progressive side, but it's one of those things that progressive and conservatism is actually a circle, and you can go so far to the left that you've actually come back around and backside of the conservative side of things. I think, and I think that's kind of what it is. It's like we're going to be so progressive.
I understand, they're very a typical liberal regulates in the way that it's you have to have this kind of certified electrical system and it has to be inspected by 10 different people and where it's a more favorable regulations government where it's totally bureaucratic. That's how liberals are supposed to legislate. They're not supposed to legislate where it's like they also have this other provision in there that says, you're gonna hate this, David.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
No coupons.
No coupons.
No coupons. They cannot advertise any kind of coupons or discounts so that somebody can bring in and say, here's my 20% off coupon. Give me my 20%
that's fine with me because we have coupons in our magazine.
Yeah.
But I can just, when you're an advertiser in Boulder, I can just say you can't have a coupon.
I know.
They can pull out the coupon page if they want.
It restricts freedom of speech.
It totally restricts freedom of speech. I absolutely agree with you. I'm just like, as far as how I would operate it, I would just work around it. But I think it's bullshit. I think it's ridiculous, again, that they keep putting these limitations that they're just arbitrarily making up for marijuana out there. I mean, it's almost like they're treating it like if you could sell uranium in a retail location, these are some of the regulations we would put on that. You can't advertise that you're selling uranium. Well, thank you. I'm glad you can't.
Think there's
that's one you would be like, that makes sense. You shouldn't advertise that you can sell uranium. But cannabis, I mean, isn't that your job is to sell it if you're a retail location for it?
Yeah. Well, I also think, and I'd have to like reread the ordinance and maybe we can, I don't know how we are doing on time.
Oh, we're going to end it pretty soon.
Okay.
We started late.
I think they might also have a ban on advertising in publications that are circulated in Boulder. So
if you're a Boulder dispensary, you cannot advertise in a publication that is circulated in Boulder.
I don't think any dispensary can. They're going to ban like any kind of.
Nah, it's a violation of freedom of speech.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to hate that part.
That'll never fucking pass.
So you know why they do this, and they don't have a severability.
The ACLU would get behind that one.
Well, I'll have to look at it a little bit more. But yeah, as the coupon one was ridiculous. They have a lot of ridiculous provisions.
This is Boulder specific, right?
Boulder specific. Well, actually, it's not really Boulder specific. It's more Tom Carr specific, who happens to be their city attorney, and he. I don't know for anyone who knows Tom Carr. Go ahead and Google him. He used to be the city attorney in Seattle.
C-A-R-R?
C-A-R-R.
Tom Carr.
Tom Carr. He used to be the city attorney in Seattle. Mm-hmm. And when Seattle decriminalized, or at least made it the lowest law enforcement priority, arrests were down. They just plummeted, right?
Right, of course.
Prosecutions went up. As city attorney, he increased prosecutions, and he did it on purpose. And he would mislead counsel about what the laws and regulations were for like at-home cultivation. And so he lost his job in Seattle because of these kinds of shenanigans that he's now trying to pull in Boulder. I think there's an intentional reason for leaving. And this is just my personal opinion.
Strategically,
I think there's a reason you're leaving something that's blatantly unconstitutional. You tried to ban possession as well. They tried to define a person who is possessing cannabis as a retail marijuana business person. Like that's how they said definition of retail marijuana business includes any business or person who possesses marijuana.
So in other words, if I possess a hot dog, am a hot dog stand operator?
Apparently, and and if you don't have your license to be a hot dog stand operator,
I could get in violation of that.
I'm gonna, yeah. So all this like blatantly,
it's the logic of these things is so amazing.
So he has there are these blatantly unconstitutional things that would obviously get them sued, and there's no severability clause. And what that means is that if there's a severability clause, like what we did in 1317, which was all the sort of controversial regulations for Amendment 64 here,
but there was a lawsuit.
There was a lawsuit. Remember, High Times and yourself.
Well, we did, yeah.
You guys sued, and with David. David Lane.
Oh, David Lane, yes.
Yeah, one of the amazing attorneys.
High Times is actually suing again for the regulations on national advertising.
Oh, yeah.
Banned. And I understand them doing it. You know, we don't need to be a part of that because we're not really doing that right now.
Yeah,
so.
But let them do the hard work on that.
Let them do the hard work on that.
But yeah, and
but I they should win that. They should absolutely win that.
And I'm sure if this goes through, I'm sure you or them will sue again. I guarantee it will be.
If this thing happens in Boulder, I will. I will absolutely sue.
I know, and maybe you should come testify on Tuesday. Then you should.
On Tuesday?
Yeah.
It's this Tuesday? Yeah, maybe I will.
All right, let's do it.
We'll talk about it.
But I think Tom Carr does this purposely because there is no severability clause. They've yet to include it in their ordinance so that somebody does sue, the whole thing gets repealed. And there is no rec. There's no adult use marijuana in Boulder.
It's ridiculous.
I know. So write all of your angry letters to Boulder City Council, address them. Tom Carr must go. Am I going to get in trouble? I'm probably like killing my political career right now.
I don't know. It just exploded right on.
Whatever. He
on
sucks.
Air. Hey, now.
Somebody's doing purposely like deceitful things, and that's not right. Like,
no.
You can.
I know. I'm happy to go to bat against somebody like that.
Yeah, like I have no problem with somebody having like opposition, but when you're in you're like in a neutral position, you're not elected, you're hired.
Yeah.
Like he is in his position. He's
Who
hired.
hired him, by the way?
Boulder City Council.
Boulder City Council.
So they hire them. Yeah, the mayor. So
find out more about Boulder City Council right now, actually, because it's like, okay, who did the hiring and why did you bring this guy in? Because you had to have known that he did unconstitutional things in Seattle.
Yeah,
you chose this guy.
There's a bunch of new city council members, who I'm sure have no idea all the little shenanigans that Tom Carr's been up to. So feel free, people, all those activists out there, like you go ahead and write to them and say, you're a new city council member. Yeah. Let me tell you something about your city attorney. Yeah. But anyways,
very interesting. I'm pretty sure that's unconstitutional.
But yeah, he's but because he's supposed to be neutral. He's not supposed to be doing this. I would say misleading sort of backdoor prohibition stuff, and especially when several times now I've been to like a few city council meetings where each time myself, Sean Coleman, a few other like lobbyist activists, industry stakeholders have gone up there and said, this is unconstitutional. You cannot do this.
Well, and here's the thing about it is absolutely a freedom of speech thing, because you have to understand when you're a publication like ours or like Culture Magazine, I'm not talking about High Times because they're a for sale publication.
Yeah.
But when you are a publication that is a free publication, that means when you're free that you're making all of your money on your advertising.
Yeah.
And so by limiting advertising is limiting my freedom of speech, is what it is. I mean, and that's the way you are limiting political speech, because we do political speech every issue. We talk about issues.
Yeah.
And so you're saying we don't want to hear about the voice that you have from this community. We're barring you from this community by banning advertising. You're now limiting freedom of speech.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So, it's a pretty easy one, and I have no problem calling David Lane up and being like, hey, by the way, when you're done with this other lawsuit for the state, we need to start looking at Boulder and take these idiots down right now. I mean, if this is what they're going to pass.
Hopefully we can do a nice letter writing campaign at first. I know that a lot of there's a lot of us who are up there like working really hard with council trying to get this done. But yeah, it would be nice if these unconstitutional things. Other than that, it's typical Boulder, regulations, which is like, like all of their businesses have to be like 100% renewable energy standards, which is good. They also had one, they finally took it out. They had another one that was, they took it out in this latest redraft that said, if you had the odor ordinance violation, like so if you had like a complaint or if they wrote you a citation, then you were going to be on like probation.
You mean odor of cannabis or any kind of bad odor?
No, just like the odor of like just
of the cannabis.
Yeah, because it becomes like so they have like.
No, I'm just saying, like I thought it might be like everybody needs to smell nice claws.
Oh no, well yeah, wear your deodorant claws that should come. No, it was the facility violated the odor. I think it was just like they got complaints, and if they were written a ticket, then they would go from 1,000 plants to 500 plants, and
oh my god,
for 5 years.
Wow,
for 5 years, and that's off one citation.
That's got to be one of the most ridiculous.
And if they had
things
2 citations, it was like I couldn't believe. And they had 2 citations. Then it was like if you violated in that probation period, then your like license was like suspended for 5 years. Your like business license, which essentially would end someone's. Like, that's it. You can't make money.
That's ridiculous.
It is so... oh, my God. I couldn't believe that was included.
Doing?
That was,
what are they doing
What is he doing? That was... I mean, it's all Tom Carr. They just come up... They'll say, can you just come up with some sort of, way to... we direct staff to come up with a way to sort of control inventory and stuff like that. They don't want people doing, like, 50,000 square foot grows in Boulder. It's still a very like boutique city.
Right.
They like that feel.
Right.
And so that was one of the ones he came up with. And I was just like, I can't believe some of this stuff sometimes.
That's
it's just
ridiculous.
insane.
Wow. Well, we do have to go. We kind of rambled a little bit long, but we'll talk more about this as this story develops as well.
Yes. David's going to come with me on Tuesday. And
I probably will, actually. And until next time, the magazine will be out next week. Keep an eye out for it. Peace, love, and
hempiness.